Hello, ESL 4. It is May 6th, and we're going to go to our Standout books on page 204. And we're going to start with part E. Okay? So, if we take a look at this, on page 204, we're going to listen to this audio, and you're going to fill this in. Okay? And I'll play it twice for you. So, let's begin.
United States citizenship carries many responsibilities with it. The decision to become a U.S. citizen is a very important one. Being granted U.S. citizenship is known as naturalization. In most cases, a person who wants to naturalize must first be a permanent resident. By becoming a U.S. citizen, you gain many rights that permanent residents or others do not have, including the right to vote. To be eligible for naturalization, you must first meet certain requirements set by U.S. law. What are the basic requirements to apply for naturalization? Generally, to be eligible for naturalization, you must be age 18 or older and be a permanent resident for a certain amount of time, usually 5 years, and be a person of good moral character, and have a basic knowledge of U.S. history and government, and have a period of continuous residence and physical presence in the U.S., and be able to read, write, and speak basic English. There are exceptions to this rule for someone who is 55 years old and has been a permanent resident for at least 15 years, or is 50 years old and has been a permanent resident for at least 20 years, or has a physical or mental impairment that makes them unable to fulfill these requirements. When can I apply for naturalization? You may be able to apply for naturalization if you are at least 18 years of age and have been a permanent resident of the U.S. for at least 5 years, or for at least 3 years during which time you have been and continue to be married to and living in marriage with your U.S. citizen husband or wife, or have honorable service in the U.S. military. Certain spouses of U.S. citizens and members of the military may be able to file for naturalization sooner than noted above previously.
Make sure my mic's up. Okay. So, I'm going to play this for you one more time. Okay? I just click here.
United States citizenship carries many responsibilities with it. The decision to become a U.S. citizen is a very important one. Being granted U.S. citizenship is known as naturalization. In most cases, a person who wants to naturalize must first be a permanent resident. By becoming a U.S. citizen, you gain many rights that permanent residents or others do not have, including the right to vote. To be eligible for naturalization, you must first meet certain requirements set by U.S. law. What are the basic requirements to apply for naturalization? Generally, to be eligible for naturalization, you must be age 18 or older and be a permanent resident for a certain amount of time, usually 5 years, and be a person of good moral character, and have a basic knowledge of U.S. history and government, and have a period of continuous residence and physical presence in the U.S., and be able to read, write, and speak basic English. There are exceptions to this rule for someone who is 55 years old and has been a permanent resident for at least 15 years, or is 50 years old and has been a permanent resident for at least 20 years, or has a physical or mental impairment that makes them unable to fulfill these requirements. When can I apply for naturalization? You may be able to apply for naturalization if you are at least 18 years of age and have been a permanent resident of the U.S. for at least 5 years, or for at least 3 years during which time you have been and continue to be married to and living in marriage with your U.S. citizen husband or wife, or have honorable service in the U.S. military. Certain spouses of U.S. citizens and members of the military may be able to file for naturalization sooner than noted above previously.
Okay, you guys, I hope you got all of that. And let's go through the answers. So I'm going to pull it up right here. Let's show all. And if we start at the top, responsibilities, naturalization, permanent, rights, right to vote, requirements, 18, moral, history, continuous, right, 55, 50, fulfill, 5, 3. Spouses. Okay, so that is in the order of the blanks. You're filling in the blanks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay? And if you would like to look at those in a script form,
United States citizenship carries many responsibilities.
pause that. You may give this a read over. Just pause the video so you can read it. Okay? We'll move it down now because we've unpaused the video. Finish where you left off. Pause the video, give it a read. Okay, good. We're going to come down here. How many requirements are there to apply for naturalization? What are they? So take a minute and pause the video and answer this question. How many requirements are there to apply for naturalization? How many requirements to become a U.S. citizen? And what are they? Pause the video, write it down on a separate piece of paper. What do we got to do? Okay, you're back. I'm assuming that you answered this question to the best of your ability. And I'm going to open up the answer key. There are six requirements. Be age 18 or older. Be a permanent resident for a certain amount of time, usually 5 years. Be a person of good moral character. Have a basic knowledge of U.S. history and government. Have a period of continuous residence and physical presence in the U.S. Be able to read, write, and speak basic English. Good. Here are the exceptions to the rules. These are things that you wouldn't have to do these to become a U.S. citizen. That's an exception. There are exceptions to this rule for someone who is 55 years old and has been a permanent resident for at least 15 years, or is 50 years old and has been a permanent resident for at least 20 years, or has a physical or mental impairment that makes them unable to fulfill these requirements. Good. Now, we're going to head over to the next page. In 1791, the Bill of Rights was added to the United States Constitution. Read and paraphrase the first 10 amendments. So, what you're going to have to do is you're going to read all the first 10 amendments, okay? I'm going to give them a read with you. Amendment 1. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Amendment 2. A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of people to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed. Amendment 3. No soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. Amendment 4. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched, and the persons or things to be seized. Amendment 5. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offence to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. Number 6. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. Amendment 7. In suits at common law, there where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law. Amendment 8. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. Amendment 9. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. And Amendment 10. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. Okay, so give that another read, or you can rewind and listen to me read it again. We're going to head to 206 while this is still fresh in our minds. Match each amendment with the right it guarantees. So if we take a look at this, the First Amendment guarantees ... You're going to find it. And you're going to match it. Okay? So pause your video and go do that. Obviously, reference page 205 for help if you need it. And I'm going to give you a second, so just pause the video. Welcome back. Let's take a look at the answers. So all. Number 1 is D, freedom of religion. Number 2 is F, right to keep and bear arms. Number 3 is H, that government cannot force people to house soldiers during times of peace. Number 4 is E, people, homes, and belongings are protected from unreasonable search and seizure. Number 5 is B, the right to be charged by a grand jury if accused of a serious crime. Number 6 is A speedy and public trial by an impartial jury. Number 7, I, a trial by jury in civil cases, dispute between private parties or between the government and a private party. Number 8 is J, no excessive bail or fines will be imposed and that punishment will not be cruel and unusual. Number 9 is C, people have other rights not listed in the Bill of Rights. Number 10 is G, people have all the rights not given to the government by the Constitution. Good. Now let's come down here. Read each situation, then decide which amendment describes your rights. Write the amendment number on the line. So your friend is Christian and celebrates Easter, but you are Jewish. So you'd write 1 or 5 or 10. There's 10 to choose from, okay? Pause your video. Take care of that. Welcome back. Let's take a look if you got it right. 1 is First Amendment. 2, Second Amendment. 3, Fourth Amendment. 4, Eighth Amendment. 5, Fifth Amendment. Okay? Let's take a look at 207 real quick. There are currently a total of 27 amendments to the Constitution. Read about 4 of the amendments and answer the questions that follow. Amendment number 8. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States, or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Amendment number 15. The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. Amendment 19. The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. Women's rights to vote. Amendment 26 in 1971. The right of citizens of the United States who are 18 years age or older to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or any state on account of age. Good. So, answer these questions 1, 2, 3, and 4. What does the 13th Amendment guarantee? And we come up here and find number 13. This is right here, 13th Amendment. I said 8th before. I read the Roman numeral wrong. This is 13th Amendment. V is 5, X is 10. Okay? So what does that guarantee? Pause the video, fill those out, give it a minute. Alright, welcome back. Let's go through the answers. Slavery is illegal. The right to vote. The 15th prevents discrimination in voting because of race, and the 19th prevents voting discrimination based on gender, and the 26th gives the voting rights to citizens 18 years old and older. Number 4, women and people of color were not allowed to vote formally because they weren't considered legally responsible people. Those are your answers. Come down here. Do any of the rights identified in this lesson affect your life? Which ones? In what ways? Well, it's illegal to be a slave, so that should be something that affects all of us. Okay? Let's head over to 208 and finish up for the day. Civic organizations. A civic organization is a group of people who come together for educational or charitable purposes, including the promotion of community welfare. The money generated by these clubs is devoted exclusively to charitable, educational, recreational, or social welfare purposes. Okay? So you're going to give this a read. The Mothers Club of Northville, Michigan. Ooh. Okay? So pause the video. Give that a read in your book. Okay? Good. And then answer these questions. What makes the Mothers Club a civic organization? And what civic organizations are there in your community? So this is an opinion question. Maybe your church, Meals on Wheels. Downtown there are a few shelters. Those are all civic organizations. But what we want to know more about is the Mothers Club a civic organization? Why is it a civic organization? I'm going to give this a click real quick. They perform charitable tasks in the community. Sample answers for civic organizations in our community: Boy and Girl Scouts, Rotary Clubs, Lions, Elks, Odd Fellows, Knights of Columbus. Knights of Columbus is located on Leonard Street. I do know that. Okay? Elks is a boys club, Boy and Girl Scouts. Maybe some of your kids are in the Girl Scouts or the Boy Scouts. Okay, so these are some pretty good answers. The charitable task in the community is the big one. Good. I'm going to call it for today. We're at 2:08. You guys are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. Work on your Burlington English and writing your journals and read some books in English. And just keep up with the good work, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow for our last day of class, technically. And then I'll also hopefully have some information about what we are doing next week.